There's a look at the infield and road course portion of Talladega Superspeedway. These aerial shots brought to you exclusively by Polaroid. Now introducing the new Captiva instant camera. Getting set for a restart this time by, again, it will be single file. 35 cars on the lead lap.
Mike, all this infield course right here is used by Harley Davidson all year long. We were just up in their neck of the woods a while back, and this is the test facility for Harley Davidson year round.
Turn 4. Pace car. It looks like it's just creeping along, but it's running, what, 70, 80 miles an hour here?
About 85 or so. They must be moving along pretty good, Steph, on that banking. It looks like you stopped, though. These cars restart in second gear. Get them wound up.
Well, Neil, you know, going up through the gears, you have power in second. Third, you don't have as much power. When you go into high, you think you choke down almost.
So the pace car is in, and Ken Schrader will lead them around. Bill Elliott is second. Ward Burton is the first of the Busch regulars. He's third. Sterling Marlin is fourth. Randy LaJoie is fifth. Irvin, Earnhardt, Jarrett, Little, and Nemechek, the top 10. Robert Presley's moved up to 11th ahead of Jeff Burton and Joe Bessie. Green flag. Elliott stays right locked on to Kenny Schrader.
I think that's a smart move, because I think Schrader, if you notice, when they have these big mix-ups and all, he always ends up back at the front. So I think Bill, and look at Ward coming up in there, I guarantee you he'd like to be leading this thing.
10-car breakaway at the front of the field.
Yeah, Bill's going to be, looks like Bill might be content to try to let him and one or two other cars try to break away from that big pack. Because a while ago, he suffered. He went from first to 11th, but he was able to get back here. So they'd like to break him up before these plates, just like he said himself. It keeps everybody packed together.
Well, Sterling Marlin's having none of that. He's moved up in the fourth there, and you see him making a move on the inside, and he's got a good train of cars with him.
Here we go. Irvin's going to go with the black car of Sterling Marlin, and everybody else will take the high road.
It's kind of like having a boat, add another motor to it. The boat on the inside just got two motors. It's going to be hard to overcome that big line on the top, except they're 3 wide, and that's going to slow that outside lane down. There's Earnhardt one right up on the top.
Randy LaJoie scoots through the middle in that number 20 Phenaloop car up behind Marlin.
Now you see Marlin move back in line there. Now they should move away from that inside line and go right up. They'll move the 2 cars on the inside back in behind that line.
Looks like Sterling driving to the bottom right there. He's got Earnhardt behind him. He'll probably go with him. Sterling's one of the guys that's really aggressive about getting to the bottom of that racetrack, trying to get to the front.
He's going to have to go it alone. Randy LaJoie is the only other car to the inside, and now LaJoie goes back up into the groove. And it's Marlin by himself. Bye-bye.
That looked like such a good idea for a minute.
Yeah. Seemed like a good idea at the time.
Yeah, you call the pits and say, guys, I had a heck of a game plan, but you won't believe what happened.
Yep. Earnhardt peeks the nose out from behind Ward Burton's third-place car. Here he comes.
A lot of this stuff today, he's going to try to get up there. He's laying right on the quarter panel. And here he comes. He's got Dale Jarrett with him. Jarrett's Speedway car always works good.
And Chad Little.
Now, they got enough muscle here. They might be able to do it. They've got 3 cars working at a time. And look at Earnhardt slides in and leaves Jarrett hanging out now.
Yeah, that's so much for the buddy system.
I think he picked the buddy lead. He decided to follow Schrader a while.
And look what it did to the whole rest of the pack. Brought him right back to the leader.
And there's Sterling 3 deep. He said, I found me even a lower place.
Yep, he's got a good, strong car, but he's advancing to the rear. That's Capio.
Boy, look right up on the wall. Burton.
Ward Burton is running this racetrack just like you have to run it to stay up front. He knows that if he goes to the outside up against the wall there, that groove, those people have to come up and start pulling.
I'm glad they didn't want to make it back straightaway to wide. They're 100 yards wide coming through the lane.
Yes, Burton way up on the wall. On Schrader.
Boy, I tell you, I don't think Schrader knew he was there, because he almost pinched him on the wall right at the top. Somebody running that high, it's hard to see him up there.
Now look who's coming up on the bottom at the front of that pack is Joe Bessie.
Yeah, along with 30 other cars.
On the bottom. Is this Mike Waltrip?
Yep, that's Mike.
Huh. He came out of nowhere.
You know, just a minute ago, we were talking about 6 cars pulling a little way.
Yeah.
Here comes the field back again. It's like a restart.
Mike Waltrip, the yellow car, the Pennzoil car, down to the bottom of the racetrack. with him. Randy LaJoie and Dale Jarrett.
Neil, that move to the outside is wonderful as long as you don't run out of real estate.
Yeah.
You've seen what happened a while ago.
You know, while we were at the rear, Earnhardt got around. Elliott must have went with Earnhardt because Schrader's back in fourth.
Irvin is third, Schrader is fourth, Burton is fifth. His brother Jeff Burton's come up to sixth, and Robert Presley is working with Jeff Burton. They've come from 11th and 12th, now up to 6th and 7th.
And here comes Ernie Irvin. He's got Schrader with him. It looks like Burton's going to fall in there with him. Schrader's had one of the cars that was able to go to the front. There's Irvin down under Earnhardt. He's clearing him. Schrader's going along with him. Comes Ward Burton.
First time we've seen the Burton brothers on the bottom, and here come the Busch guys. Ward Burton, Jeff Burton, Robert Presley, Joe Nemechek. They're all teamed up.
There's Presley tucked in with him. His car's good.
That car Ward Burton shows me a lot of muscle. He just moves when he gets ready to.
From first to 18th place, it's only 1.1 seconds. There's the scorecard this year. So far, pretty even.
Well, the plate racing slowed it down to start with. People didn't like it, but it's certainly a lesson for the fans. They get to see some good racing.
Now Jeff Burton in that white Baby Ruth car. He's going to get back a spot. He should ride with Chad Little.
You see those hands how he's moving around there? That car looks like it's running real smooth, but that back end's jumping everywhere.
Yeah, just kind of leave wheel on, let the back end keep up.
You think you're steering the front end, but it's the back end steering you, right?
I tell you, it's like a hook and ladder truck. Somebody's back there helping.
It's the wind.
Yeah. We joke about that, but they put those side windows, no skirts, and you'll actually drive off in the corner, and it'll try to break loose, and it'll lay on that wind, that big square side of that car, and flatten out and straighten itself back up.
Well, they straighten themselves out around Ward Burton. Jeff Burton goes around him on the outside. 3 cars to the bottom. Robert Presley hooks up with Ward now.
4 wide through the tri-oval again. You know, the driver's going to have to keep him a notepad who worked with him and who didn't. Because so far, each one of them threw the other guy in the ditch a couple of times. At the end of the race, you want to remember who dished it out because you want to give it back to him.
Yeah, with 10 laps to go, turn the notepad away.
Love that song, Some Days You're the Windshield.
And the other day, you're the bug.
There's a lot of that going on out here right now.
Front group, while they're messing around, they got to get a little bit of room. They got to be careful not let you up and get away. Irvin lead, Schrader second, Earnhardt third. Elliott sitting there fourth. Just a little bit of gap on the other guys.
Got 6 cars out front now. Irvin, Schrader, Earnhardt, Elliott, Jeff Burton.
You know, when we say that they slowed them down, they slowed them down from 200 to 185, 188 miles an hour. They're still plenty fast.
Excuse me, let's put Nemechek up there in 4th. Jeff Burton in 5th. Mike Waltrip, Randy LaJoie. That's the breakaway. 7 cars. Here goes Schrader. That'll tighten it all back up again.
You know, sometimes they might be content to stay there, but that water temperature gauge is telling someone, hey, I can't follow this guy. I'm cooking the motor. I got to get out and get around, or either I'm going to have to back it up some.